Every successful person you admire has a secret they don't talk about in interviews. They work on their goals every single day, without exception, including weekends, holidays, and sick days. While unsuccessful people have turned excuse-making into an art form, the comfortable majority will tell you this approach is extreme, unhealthy, and unnecessary. But these are the same people who will retire broke, unfulfilled, and full of regret about the dreams they never pursued. The brutal reality is that your competition doesn't take days off. Your goals don't pause for your convenience, and your dreams don't care about your need for work-life balance. While you're sleeping in on Saturday morning, someone else is building the business you talked about starting. While you're taking a mental health day, someone else is developing the skills you said you would learn. The gap between where you are and where you want to be grows every single day you choose comfort over commitment. Here's a fact that will shake you to your core. 95% of people who start something with great enthusiasm will quit within the first 90 days. Not because they lack talent, not because they don't have good intentions. They quit because they believe the biggest lie ever told about success, that you can take days off from your dreams and still achieve them. Right now, while you're listening to this, there are millions of people around the world making excuses for why today isn't the right day to work on their goals. It's Monday, so they'll start fresh. It's Friday, so they deserve to relax. It's raining, so conditions aren't perfect. It's sunny, so they should enjoy the weather instead of working. These people have turned excuse-making into an art form, and they wonder why their lives never change. The comfortable myth of work-life balance has destroyed more dreams than any economic recession ever could. They tell you to take weekends off, take vacations, take mental health days, take time to recharge. But here's what they don't tell you. While you're taking time off from your goals, someone else is working on theirs. While you're balancing, they're building. While you're resting, they're rising. This doesn't mean you should ignore your health or your family. It means you should understand that champions think about rest differently than ordinary people do. When a champion rests, they're still thinking about their goals. When they're with family, they're still mentally rehearsing their next moves. When they sleep, their subconscious mind is still working on solutions. They don't turn their ambition on and off like a light switch. Let me tell you about Marcus Thompson. 3 years ago, Marcus was working construction, making $15, 0 cents an hour, living paycheck to paycheck. He had a wife, 2 kids, and a mortgage that kept him awake at night. But Marcus had something that most people give up too early. He had a burning desire to create a better life for his family. Marcus decided to get into real estate, not part-time, not when he felt like it, not when conditions were perfect. Every single day, he would wake up at 4:30 a.m., study real estate for 2 hours before work, listen to real estate podcasts during his lunch break, and spend 2 more hours in the evening calling potential clients, learning about properties and building his knowledge. His friends thought he was crazy. His co-workers said he was wasting his time. Even his own family questioned why he was pushing himself so hard. But Marcus understood something that changed everything. Consistency beats intensity every single time. While others were having intense bursts of effort followed by long periods of inaction, Marcus was making steady progress every single day. The magic happens in the compound effect of daily action. When you do something small every day, doesn't seem like much is happening at first. Day 1, you learn a little. Day 2, you learn a little more. Day 30, you're still not seeing massive results, but somewhere around day 90, something shifts. All those small daily actions start multiplying. Your knowledge compounds. Your skills compound. Your confidence compounds. Your results compound. Marcus's transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened over many nights, night after night, of choosing his future over his comfort. Night after night of saying no to television and yes to education. Night after night of doing what unsuccessful people refuse to do. Today, Marcus owns 17 rental properties and earns more in a month than he used to make in a year. But it all started with the simple decision: no days off from his dream. Here's what most people don't understand about momentum. It's fragile when you're building it, but powerful once you have it. When you take a day off early in your journey, you're not just losing one day of progress. You're breaking the psychological pattern that creates unstoppable momentum. You're telling your brain that this goal isn't really that important. You're giving yourself permission to quit when things get difficult. Champions view weekends differently than everyone else. While ordinary people see Saturday and Sunday as days to recover from the week, champions see them as days to get ahead for the next week. They understand that their competition is probably taking these days off, which means it's the perfect time to gain an advantage. They think about holidays the same way. While everyone else is taking Christmas week off, champions are working on their goals because they know their competition isn't. While others are sleeping in on New Year's Day, champions are already executing their plans for the new year. They don't wait for Monday to start. They don't wait for next month to begin. They start right now. The price of inconsistency is higher than most people realize. It's not just the time you lose when you take days off. It's the momentum you destroy. It's the confidence you undermine. It's the habit patterns you break. It's the message you send to your subconscious mind that this goal isn't worth consistent effort. Every day you don't work on your goals, you're not just standing still, you're actually moving backward. Your skills get rusty. Your knowledge fades. Your motivation weakens. Your competitors get further ahead. The gap between where you are and where you want to be grows wider. But here's the incredible news. Every day you do work on your goals, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. You're not just moving forward, you're accelerating. You're building the kind of unstoppable momentum that carries you through obstacles that stop other people cold. The difference between people who achieve extraordinary things and people who live ordinary lives isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's their relationship with consistency. Champions have learned to make daily action non-negotiable, while everyone else treats it as optional. A brain is not designed to help you succeed. Let me repeat that because it's one of the most important things you'll ever hear. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, comfortable, and alive, not successful. Every time you try to do something challenging, something that requires consistent effort, something that pushes you beyond your current comfort zone, your brain fights you like your life depends on it. Scientists have discovered that your brain has what they call a negativity bias. It's constantly scanning for threats, for reasons to stop, for excuses to quit. When you commit to working on your goals every single day, your brain immediately starts looking for evidence that this is dangerous, unnecessary, or impossible. It whispers things like, "You're working too hard. You need a break. This isn't sustainable, and you're going to burn out." But here's what neuroscience has taught us about habit formation. It takes approximately 66 days of consistent action to create an automatic behavior. Not 21 days like you've been told, 66 days. That means for over 2 months. Your brain is going to resist your new behavior. For over 2 months, it's going to feel difficult, unnatural, and forced. Most people quit during this critical period because they think something is wrong, when the resistance they feel is actually completely normal. The champions understand this science and use it to their advantage. They know that motivation is unreliable and temporary. Motivation gets you started, but systems keep you going. They don't rely on feeling motivated to take action. They create systems that make action automatic, regardless of how they feel. This is why motivation fails, but systems succeed when you rely on motivation. You're gambling with your future. Some days you'll feel motivated, some days you won't. Some days you'll be excited about your goals, some days you'll question everything. But when you have systems in place, your actions become independent of your emotions. The most successful people in the world have learned to separate their feelings from their actions. They don't ask themselves, do I feel like working on my goals today? They ask themselves, what does my system require me to do today? Then they do it, regardless of how they feel about it. There's something called the 72-hour rule that separates winners from quitters. Research shows that if you don't take action on a goal within 72 hours of setting it, you only have a 10% chance of ever following through. But here's the more important part. Once you start taking consistent action, if you skip more than 72 hours, you're likely to quit entirely. This is why champions never let 72 hours pass without working on their most important goals. Well, let me address the biggest myth that keeps people from consistent action, the fear of burnout. People have been programmed to believe that working hard every day will lead to exhaustion and breakdown. But burnout doesn't come from working hard on things you care about. Burnout comes from working hard on things that don't matter to you, or from working without a clear sense of purpose. When you're pursuing something that truly matters to you, something that aligns with your deepest values and desires, work becomes energizing rather than draining. The key is understanding the difference between being busy and being productive. Being busy means filling your time with activities that may or may not move you forward. Being productive means focusing your energy on activities that directly advance your most important goals. Champions practice energy management, not just time management. They understand that their energy is finite, but it's also renewable. They know which activities give them energy and which activities drain them. They structure their days to maximize their energy for their most important work and minimize energy waste on trivial activities. The most powerful discovery in productivity science is this: your willpower is strongest in the morning and weakest in the evening. This is why successful people tackle their most important goals first thing in the morning, before their willpower gets depleted by the demands of the day. They don't wait until evening when they're tired and distracted. They don't wait until they have free time, because free time never comes. They create time by making their goals the first priority of every day. The brain creates neural pathways based on repetition every time you take action toward your goals. You strengthen the neural pathway that makes future action easier. Every time you skip a day, you weaken that pathway and make future action harder. This is why consistency is more important than intensity. It's better to work on your goals for 30 minutes every day than to work for 8 hours once a week. The science is clear. Your brain will adapt to whatever you do consistently. If you consistently make excuses, your brain becomes an excuse-making machine. If you consistently take action despite resistance, your brain becomes an action-taking machine. The choice is yours, but the choice must be made every single day through your actions, not your intentions. The alarm goes off at 5 a.m. while the rest of the world sleeps. Champions are already moving. They understand something that average people never figure out. The first hour of your day determines the quality of the remaining 23 hours. If you win the morning, you win the day. If you win the day consistently, you win your life. Your morning routine is not just a series of activities, it's your daily declaration of war against mediocrity. Before you check your phone, before you read the news, before you let the outside world invade your mind with its problems and distractions, you must feed your goals first. This is non-negotiable for anyone serious about transformation. The most successful people in the world all have one thing in common. They start working on their most important goal within the first 60 minutes of waking up. Not after coffee, not after breakfast, not after checking email. Immediately, while their willpower is strongest, while their mind is clearest, while their energy is highest, they attack their biggest challenge when they are at their best. Here's how to design your environment for automatic success. Everything in your surroundings should either support your goals or be eliminated. If you want to exercise every morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read more, put books everywhere and hide your remote control. If you want to eat healthier, fill your kitchen with healthy food and remove the junk. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. So make it work for you instead of against you. The power of micro-commitments cannot be overstated. Most people fail because they try to change everything at once. They commit to working out for 2 hours, reading for 1 hour, and studying for 3 hours every single day. This approach guarantees failure because it's unsustainable. Champions start with commitments so small they're almost embarrassing. 10 push-ups, 5 pages of reading, 15 minutes of skill development. These tiny actions seem insignificant, but they create the momentum that leads to massive results. The secret is making your daily commitments so easy that you can't talk yourself out of them. You can't say you don't have time for 10 push-ups. You can't say you're too tired to read 5 pages. You can't say you're too busy for 15 minutes of practice. Once you start moving, momentum takes over. What begins as 10 push-ups often becomes a full workout. What starts as 5 pages often becomes an entire chapter. Decision fatigue is the silent killer of consistency. Every decision you make throughout the day depletes your mental energy. This is why successful people eliminate as many daily decisions as possible. They wear similar clothes every day, they eat similar meals, they follow similar routines. They automate everything that doesn't directly contribute to their goals so they can focus all their decision-making power on what matters most. The 5 a.m. advantage is real and measurable. People who wake up early consistently outperform people who sleep in. Not because early morning has magical powers, but because early risers have uninterrupted time to work on their goals before life gets in the way. No phone calls, no meetings, no emergencies, just you and your dreams in perfect silence. But here's what really separates champions from everyone else. They've learned to turn obstacles into fuel for greater consistency. When something goes wrong, instead of using it as an excuse to quit, they use it as motivation to work harder. When they face a setback, instead of taking time off to recover, they double down on their daily commitments. They understand that obstacles are not roadblocks, they're strengthening exercises. Progress doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence. Some days you'll perform at 100%, at some days at 60%, some days at 30%. Champions show up regardless of their performance level because they know that showing up when you don't feel like it is what builds the mental muscle that carries you through the difficult times ahead. There's a voice inside your head right now that's been sabotaging your success for years. It sounds reasonable, caring, even protective. It says things like, "You've been working so hard, you deserve a break." Or, "You've made good progress this week, you can skip today." Or, "You're pushing yourself too hard, you need to slow down." This voice has convinced more people to quit than any external obstacle ever could. This internal enemy disguises itself as self-care, but it's actually self-sabotage. It waits for moments when you're tired, stressed, or discouraged, then offers you the comfortable lie that taking a day off will somehow help you. The truth is, every time you listen to this voice, you're not just losing one day of progress. You're training yourself to quit when things get difficult. Champions have learned to recognize this voice and respond to it differently. When it says, "You deserve a break," they respond with, "I deserve success more than comfort." When it says, "You're working too hard," they respond with, "I'm working exactly as hard as my dreams require." When it says, "Take today off," they respond with, "My goals don't take days off, so neither do I." The most dangerous moment in any journey toward success is right after a setback. This is when your internal enemy becomes loudest and most convincing. It uses your temporary failure as evidence that you should give up permanently. It tells you that since you've already broken your streak, there's no point in continuing. But setbacks are not stop signs. They're speed bumps that test your commitment to your destination. When you face a setback, your response in the next 24 hours determines whether you ultimately succeed or fail. Unsuccessful people use setbacks as excuses to quit or take extended breaks. They say things like, "I'll start again next Monday," or "I'll wait until conditions are better." Champions use setbacks as fuel for an immediate comeback. They don't wait They don't make excuses, they get back to work immediately, often with more intensity than before. Mental toughness isn't about feeling strong all the time. It's about taking action, especially when you feel weak. It's about working on your goals when you're tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. It's about understanding that your feelings are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. You don't have to feel motivated to take action. You don't have to feel confident to make progress. You just have to move forward regardless of how you feel. The loneliness of excellence is real and unavoidable. When you commit to working on your goals every single day, you'll often find yourself working while others are relaxing. You'll be studying while they're watching television. You'll be practicing while they're socializing. You'll be building while they're complaining. This separation from the crowd is not a sacrifice, it's an investment in becoming the person you're capable of becoming. People who don't understand your drive will try to pull you back down to their level. They'll call you obsessed, workaholic, or extreme. They'll tell you that you're missing out on life, that you need to learn to relax, that you're taking things too seriously. But these people are projecting their own limitations onto you. They can't imagine pursuing something with complete dedication because they've never cared about anything enough to do so. Converting exhaustion into determination is a skill that separates champions from everyone else. When ordinary people feel tired, they stop. When champions feel tired, they use it as proof that they're pushing their limits and growing stronger. They understand that fatigue is often mental, not physical. They've learned that working through tiredness builds the mental strength that carries them through future challenges. Your comfort zone is not a place of safety, it's a place of slow death. Every day you stay comfortable, you're dying a little inside. Every day you choose ease over growth, you're betraying the person you could become. True safety comes from becoming strong enough to handle whatever life throws at you, not from avoiding challenges. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, you have a choice that will determine the entire trajectory of your life. You can hit the snooze button, roll over, and continue living the same life you've always lived. Or you can get up, get moving, and begin the transformation that will make you unrecognizable to your current self within 12 months. The choice seems simple, but everything depends on what you do in that moment. Let me tell you about Jennifer Martinez. 18 months ago, Jennifer was a 34-year-old accountant trapped in a life that felt like it was happening to someone else. She woke up every morning dreading the day ahead, worked at a job that slowly crushed her spirit, came home exhausted, watched television until she fell asleep, then repeated the cycle. She had dreams of starting her own business, but they remained dreams because she treated them like hobbies instead of priorities. The turning point came on a rainy Tuesday morning when Jennifer looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the defeated person staring back at her. That day, she made a decision that changed everything. She decided to work on her business idea for 1 hour every single morning before work. Not when she felt like it, not when she had extra time. Every single morning without exception. The first week was brutal. Her body fought against waking up earlier. Her mind created dozens of excuses why today should be different. Her emotions screamed that this was too hard, too much, too overwhelming. But Jennifer had learned something that most people never understand. The person you become is determined by what you do when you don't want to do it. Here's your practical blueprint for implementing the no days off lifestyle starting immediately. First, identify your one most important goal, the goal that would change everything if you achieved it. Not 5 goals, not 10 goals, just one. Write it down clearly and specifically. Then, break it down into daily actions that you can complete in 30 to 60 minutes every morning. Second, prepare your environment the night before. Lay out everything you need to work on your goal. Remove everything that might distract you. Make it easier to do the right thing than to do the wrong thing. Your future self will thank you when willpower is low and temptation is high. Third, create what I call the minimum viable commitment. This is the smallest possible action you can take toward your goal that you cannot talk yourself out of. Maybe it's writing 1 paragraph, making 1 phone call, or studying for 15 minutes. The key is making it so small that you have no excuse not to do it, but significant enough that it moves you forward. Jennifer started with just 30 minutes every morning working on her online marketing business. Some days she accomplished more, some days less, but she never missed a day. She worked on Christmas morning, she worked when she was sick, she worked when she was traveling, she worked when she was discouraged, she worked when nothing seemed to be happening. Fourth, implement the weekly review system that keeps you on track. Every Sunday evening, review your progress from the past week and plan your priorities for the coming week. Ask yourself 3 questions. What worked well? What didn't work? What will I do differently next week? This weekly checkpoint prevents you from drifting off course and helps you make continuous improvements to your approach. The magic started happening for Jennifer around month 6. Her daily efforts began compounding. Her knowledge had grown exponentially. Her confidence had strengthened through consistent action. Her skills had sharpened through daily practice. Most importantly, her identity had shifted from someone who had dreams to someone who was actively building them into reality. Fifth, understand that maintaining relationships while pursuing excellence requires clear communication and boundaries. Tell the important people in your life what you're doing and why it matters to you. Explain that this isn't temporary obsession, it's permanent commitment. Help them understand that by becoming the best version of yourself, you're better able to serve them and contribute to their lives. Jennifer's family initially resisted her new routine. They complained that she was always working, that she never had time to relax anymore, that she was becoming too serious. But as her business grew and her confidence soared, they began to see the transformation. They watched her become happier, more energetic, more fulfilled. They realized that her daily discipline wasn't taking away from her life, it was giving her life back. Sixth, create multiple streams of daily progress. Don't just work on one area of your life. Spend time on your career, your health, your relationships, and your personal growth every single day, even if it's just 10 minutes in each area. Consistent daily action in multiple areas creates massive momentum across your entire life. The ripple effect of your consistent action extends far beyond your personal success. When you commit to working on your goals every single day, you become an example to everyone around you. Your children learn that dreams require daily action. Your colleagues see what's possible when someone refuses to quit. Your friends begin questioning their own level of commitment. You become a catalyst for positive change in every life you touch by month 12. Jennifer had built her online business to the point where it was generating more income than her accounting job. But more importantly, she had built something far more valuable. Unshakable confidence in her ability to achieve anything she set her mind to. She had proven to herself that consistent daily action can transform any dream into reality. Today, Jennifer runs a 7-figure marketing agency, employs 12 people, and has completely transformed her life. But none of this would have happened without that first difficult morning when she chose action over comfort, progress over perfection, consistency over convenience. Your transformation begins with the next decision you make. Not next Monday, not next month, not when conditions are perfect, right now. The blueprint is in your hands. The knowledge is in your mind. The only question remaining is whether you have the courage to begin. Stop waiting for permission to pursue your dreams. Stop looking for perfect conditions that will never come. Stop making excuses that keep you exactly where you are. Your goals are not going to achieve themselves. Your dreams are not going to build themselves. Your future is not going to create itself. Every morning, champions around the world wake up and get to work while everyone else sleeps. Every day, they take action while others make excuses. Every week, they make progress while others make plans. Every month, they build momentum while others build regrets. Every year, they transform their lives while others wonder what could have been. The difference between the life you're living and the life you want to live is found in what you do every single day. No days off, No excuses, no exceptions. Get up and get it done. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. The alarm will ring tomorrow morning. The question is not whether you'll hear it. The question is what you'll do when you do. Champions already know the answer. Do you? Your time is now. Your moment is here. Get up and get it done.